Hello there, this is CAN Kenan from Kenan Place, and today we're going to play part 16 of Sickness. Alright, let's load the game. I wonder what's going to happen next. Alright, Leon, you're back early? You're back early? Is the assessment over already? Yes sir. I see. How did our new friend go? Did he meet your expectations? Absolutely not. Sir, the boy has no aptitude for armed combat whatsoever. He does not appear to have even basic training in martial art, let alone enough to survive. Let me move my mic. I recommend leaving him as a collector, and keep your recommendation to yourself. I'm the boss, not you. Explain to me in detail what the two of you went through. The boy showed up earlier than anticipated, then tried to leave as soon after entering. I ambushed him in the dark as he turned to leave. He turned around at the last minute and was unable to defend himself. That's disappointing. It wasn't until I turned the lights on and engaged him in an unarmed combat that he was able to adequately protect himself. Whenever we return to armed combat, however, that's enough, you can go now. You're the one who asked me for a detailed explanation. You better go, Leon. You better go. By the end of our first 30 minutes together, he could barely stand. The boy is hopeless in armed combat, a little harder than I would have. Enough. That's what I said, right? I said enough. Do you want to die, Leon? Do you want to die? Do you want me to kill you? Do you want me to get angry? Have you seen me get angry before, Leon? No, right? Which part of you can go now? Did you not understand? Are you so insecure that you need to talk badly about your colleagues? How pitiful. Colleagues? How could you compare me to that brat? Not. The moment Caruso nodded, a figure appeared behind Leon, reminding him of his position. You said yourself that he preempted your first strike. Moreover, you mentioned that he was successful in defending against your unarmed assault. Is that not what you just told me? It is, but he was just what? Lucky? A little luck is all it takes to preempt a trained killer? It doesn't matter. If he were a real target, I would have killed him with ease. Why does it matter if he did well in an unarmed combat? If it had been training, he would have died before getting the opportunity. You know what, Leon? You should really just shut up and get out of the room before you die. You really don't understand, do you? You see, this boy, 17 years old boy, a teenage with no history of martial arts or combat sports, was able to ward off the assault of a trained killer. A boy, until only weeks ago, presumably had no knowledge of the underworld. In a matter of weeks, he has developed the instinct of a killer, proving himself competent enough to take the place of Andy, a 12 years veteran in this business. What he possesses is adaptability, and that's something you cannot simply learn. Will Leon dare to at the boss? If I'm the boss, he's dead. Do you want me to keep an eye on him? Haha, straight to business, huh? Leave him be for now. But if he's stupid enough to make the next move, to see that is his last. True. Don't need to kill Leon anymore. Alright, sickness. What part is this? Part 7, loose ends. Lucia. Should be Lucia, right? Lucia tying up some loose ends. 2 days later. Is this his house? Saturday night, September 24th. Tonight, as I did last night, I found myself in the bushes along my target's house. It's a quiet hiding spot I found myself yesterday, in one in which I can catch an occasional glimpse of my target without even being seen or losing track of them. As much as I like to just get this and over and done with, I'm in no position to rush. Since the overwhelmingly defeat I suffered in the hands of Leon, I've done little more than rest. I spent half of yesterday just lazing around the house, not moving an inch, and certainly not giving a return visit to the gym any thought. But while a relaxing day at home sounds envious at most, that reminds me of just one problem. Sarah is a problem. Unable to hide my injuries from the watchful eyes of my twin sister, I choked a earful as she berated me for hours on end. She had no doubt grown suspicious long before I returned home, so when I finally did turn up in the early hours of the morning, covered in bruises and cuts from head to toe, that was the last straw. As easy as it has been to lie to my sister until now, this time she wouldn't listen to reason. Sarah didn't believe for a moment that I simply gotten into a disagreement with a co-worker, and she certainly wouldn't drop the issue anytime soon. Every moment we spent together since then had been filled with incessant questioning, non-stop questioning, and skepticism, finally reaching the point where I couldn't stand my sister's company. Incessant? I never thought that would come to a time where I'm so happy to leave my sister's side, and no matter how much I love her, there's only so much I can take. Now I'm actually welcoming the duty over which I'll be sitting on the fence. Even if I have no desire to inflict injury upon my target, dealing with them seems like a more pleasant alternative to spending the night with my sister. That's quite sad, right? In short, I'm running away from the harsh reality of my own life and taking it out on someone else. The lights just switched on. A light switched on in the bedroom of my target, revealing a slender figure beyond the see-through curtains. Yes, I followed my target home, returning in the dead of the night to survey the area more closely. I think the target is Lucia, right? The girl who saw him. I had sought to gather information on my target's routine and home, looking for any opportunity or entry point, some way to get in contact with them. Unfortunately, what I found only made the task seem even more difficult. My target resides on the second story of a house shared with two other people. All three occupants sleep upstairs, and the only way to get to my target's room without risking their intervention is through the window. At this point in time, my body was far too weak to make such a climb. Even at 100%, I'll have difficulty scaling the size of a 2-story house. Unfortunately, I don't have any other choice right now. With the curtains drawn and the light dim once more, my target finally went to bed, signaling that it was time for me to make my move. Hoisting myself on a fence separating my target house from their neighbors, I grabbed onto the gutter of the neighbor's single-story home. I steadied my body as I stood up, balancing on the fence until the moment I made the first 2 decisive jumps. I put myself onto the roof of my target house, then quietly crept into their window, unlocked, and let myself in. Alright, he's gonna speak to Lucia. Oh, seems like a nice room she has right here. Very neat, right? Seems a bit empty for a girl's room. The moment I entered the room, my target's eyes greeted me unknowingly. She gazed at me through the eyes full of fear and confusion alike. Eyes that questioned whether the sight of me before them truly reflected reality and what would happen next. Too bad I wanted to finish this while she slept. Perhaps I should have waited a bit longer. My target needs to be dealt with, but that doesn't mean she needs to suffer. She's done nothing wrong, at least not intentionally or with malice in her heart. She just needs to be silenced. Oh, here she is, Lucia. Sparing no time for a second thought, I unveiled my blade I so long to test out. No, not yet stained with the red release it yearned for, my blade flourished under the moonlight rays, preparing to take its first victim. You're here to kill me, are you? Had this situation had a tad different, this girl may have been spared. But by this point, that is no longer an option. I progressed without saying a word, simply nodding in affirmation. Surprised by her fate, the girl didn't scream or try to escape. For every ounce of her being had desperately wanted to cling to life, the overwhelming consensus seemed to be death was what awaited her. Will you at least tell me why? You should have kept your mouth shut, Miss Lucia. Oh no, don't kill her, please, please. Oh, please don't kill her, she's a nice person, please, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, please don't kill her. I'm pretty sure she won't do anything, man. Oh my gosh, I really hope he doesn't kill her. Oh my gosh, please don't kill her. Alright, I'm scared to press the next button, but I'll do it anyway. Content to abandon our conversation here and then, I traversed the funnest gap between us. Lucia didn't try to stop me as I closed in, or even as I sat beside her. Gaps. In a short breath, her lips escaped as I wrapped my arms around her and held her close, but she still showed no resistance. Then another breath escaped Lucia's body, this time through a different opening. Oh no. I gently traced my knife along her throat, all the while keeping my left hand over her mouth. Lucia tried to scream, but the air instead escaped through the new slit in her neck, further propelling the blood spray I already induced. Finally, Lucia tried to fight back. By now, she has no strength with which to resist. Her teeth makes no impression on the groove of her adoring face. Unfortunately for her, I had learned from my previous cues, no fingerprint, no abandoned weapons or article or clothing, and from this position, no blood stained me. Oh no, why did you kill her? Oh no. You shouldn't kill her, you know. It's quite sad, right? I'm pretty sure she's a nice girl though. As I calmly analysed the situation, Lucia's futile resistance grew even weaker. All she could do was bleed to death while I avoided the mess she was making. Concluding that Lucia had no strength which to fight back, I began to look around her room, only then beginning to realize why she did what she did. Her walls were bare. She had no computer or television, no CDs, and not even a poster or a handbag. All she had are books and desks, both of which no doubt exist for the sole purpose of studying. Living like that is hard to blame her for seeking attention. It's only natural she craved a little excitement. Too bad she chose to do so by threatening my livelihood. Returning my focus to the task at hand, I noticed Lucia had lost the last of her fight. Her lifeless corpse lay still in my arms, keeping upright only by the support I applied. I guess my work here is done. Time to go get out of here before... Lucia, are you asleep yet, Mr. Kenya? Oh no, why? Why must you kill Lucia? She's a nice girl, right? She's a nice girl, right? And they didn't even give me any choice whether can we kill her or not? It's quite sad. This is really quite sad. He really shouldn't do that, you know. And now Mr. Kenya is coming and he's gonna kill the Mr. Kenya too. Whether it is a sound of an earlier failing or the footstep of the murderer, Lucia and I had attracted the attention of her father. The teen door separated Mr. Kenya and his daughter. Cold body creaked open, revealing him to an unimaginable scene. I swear, if you aren't asleep by the time I count to. Mr. Kenya stopped himself mid-sentence, both physically and mentally unable to continue his train of thoughts. On the bed, Lucia's lifeless body of his daughter, and just beyond her corpse stood teenage responsible for a gruesome death. At the moment of immobilized shock was all I needed. Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh shit. Now you must kill another innocent? I'm pretty sure they are a nice family, you know. I'm pretty sure about that. And you have to kill the father, and the father like... And now I'm pretty sure the mother is awake too. I pierced the night air as I plunged my hunting knife into Mr. Kenya's eye shot, pinning him to the wall across Lucia's room, and with a phenomenal speed and ease, well, he's gonna be a cold-blooded killer now. He didn't have enough time to raise his hand, let alone move out of the way, allowing me to drive my knife through the back of his skull with minimal resistance. No longer able to speak, Mr. Kenya remained frozen, standing only thanks to my help. Freed from the blade supporting him, Mr. Kenya fell to the floor, unable to move an inch through his own free will. Even with Mr. Kenya disposed of, my work is not done yet. That bastard! I should have mouthed his scream the instant I struck. Thanks to his nosy nature and loud mouth, this quickly became a massacre. Alerted by husband's scream, Mrs. Kenya herded in the corner of the room, whispering on the phone. Sigh, I really messed this one up. I was supposed to deal with Lucia and leave. Quick, quiet job with only a single victim. But now, he's here. He's in the room right now. No, I don't know. It's too dark to tell. Please, just hurry up and... Hey, he's smiling. No, he's like, I'm a cold-blooded killer now. And she's like, no, I must pronounce this right. Alright, that's correct, right? Cut off by the sound of the tearing flesh, Mrs. Kenya's eyes locked onto the steel blade protruding from her throat. Entering from behind, the blade made its way clean through her esophagus without any resistance whatsoever. Madam, are you still there? Mrs. Kenya tried to speak, but with my blade through her blade lodged in her throat. Doing so proved impossible. Her hands shook, and the phone she was holding rocked from side to side, descending as the strength required to support its weight failed her. Madam, we're sending a patrol car over right now. Just stay on the line so we can... Administering the final blow, I ended the conversation Mrs. Kenya had hoped would save her life. Her body fell to ground, lifeless and bloody, right next to her mobile phone. I calmly picked the phone off the floor, cutting the cord, and immediately basking in the silence I summoned. Whoa, cold-blooded killer, like, oh my gosh. I'm still very affected that he killed Lucia, because Lucia is a nice girl, right? You know, you might even be able to date her, you know, she's your sister, classmate, and so on, which means she's like only a year younger than you. She might even be became your junior in school, or even, your girlfriend one day or something like that, since she admires you so much for being her savior. Sunday morning, September 25th, a restful morning of cleared conflict and renewed affection, a morning of peace, quiet, much needed proximity. Be it her forgiving nature or the absence warmth of her brother, Sarah quickly dropped the issue that separated us only days ago. She has by no means forgotten, of course. Sarah won't overlook the issue anytime soon, but neither will she allow it to come between us any longer. Even if I thought Sarah was being unreasonable at times, she had undoubtedly a much better person than I am. She's undoubtedly, of course, she's a much better person than you are. In hindsight, I think I may have scared her into forgiveness. She'll honestly be scared to death if I turn up in the early hours in the morning, bruised and beaten with an inch of my life. She wouldn't admit it, of course, but I could see the concern on her face as easily as she saw through my deceit. On top of that, I can only imagine how she felt when on Friday and Saturday alike, I disappeared in the middle of the night. A rotten brother, aren't I? Yes, you are. Despite my disappearance and deceit, or perhaps because of them, Sarah sought to mend our relationship the second we began to drift apart. She agreed to stop asking where I've been and what I've done, upsetting that I wouldn't tell her, at least not yet. As much as I like to put Sarah's mind at ease, I fear that telling her the truth would accomplish the exact opposite. Actually, I think Sarah is a really nice sister though. I'm not the vigilante she painted me to be. I'm definitely not the kind of person she should idolize. Even if some of my despicable action would inevitably pay the bills, there's nothing to be proud of. Hey, hold still. As I wallowed in my own melancholy thoughts, Sarah continued to devotedly rub ointment into my back. Though my wounds have been healing at an unfathomable pace, I'm still bruised from head to toe. There's no way I could hide that fact from the watchful eyes of my sister. Despite that, she said very little about my injuries or even about my job. I wonder what she'll say if I told her I was offered a new job. Sarah might actually provide some much needed insight in the situation. I don't have to give her details, just enough information to let her know what was going on. Hey, says Sarah. Sarah kept rubbing my back, seemingly unaffected by the long coming break in silence. If hypothetically I were offered a job, the kind where I typically only work a few hours at night, what would you say? This time, Sarah stopped rubbing. She stared at my back quizzically for a moment, wearing a concerned smile. The next, a safer job? Well, I don't know about that. Is it safer to slit someone's throat in the death of night, than is it to extort money from them in broad daylight? I think it is safer to slit someone's throat in the dead of night. Either way, as far as she's concerned, yeah, a safer job. As I confirmed her wishful thinking, Sarah reacted with neither relief nor excitement. The line felt rehearsed, as though my answer was irrelevant. So, you might not be there when I go to sleep, but you won't be covered in bruises when I wake up. Hypothetically speaking, pretty much. Sarah thought my proposal over for a moment, suddenly mulling over the potential ramification. Of course, even if she doesn't say a word, Sarah isn't hard to read. On one hand, I would be safe and no longer need to fake 10 hours days. I wouldn't have to wake up early in the morning either. On the other hand, we have less time together overall. I might not be there for dinner. I might not be there at bedtime. Working nights, I also go to sleep later and in turn wake up later and miss on our usual morning blunder. A little later and I might not even be able to see her off. Personally, I don't mind what her choice is. I'm truly conflicted either way. This is a real lose-lose situation. Sarah's movement slowed to a halt as her mind continued to drift further away. Sarah, I just want you to be safe. Alright, now his deep thought is coming. She's lying. She wants me to be safe. How can she be lying? Yes, I can tell that. Sarah's too honest to lie about her feelings so blatantly. Contrary to the concern she displayed just a moment ago, Sarah just wants me to take the hard, dangerous route. No, I don't think so. To her, my presence is worth more than my safety? No. Given the choice between a safe, healthy brother who she never sees and a crippled she can spend all day with, it seems she preferred the latter. I don't think so. I think she really wants to see you. But the thing is that she also don't want to see you get hurt, you know. Oh, only one deep dark thought. That's all. Sarah finished treating my back and the rest of our morning went by rather quietly. She spent her time reading and doing homework, occasionally glancing at television, while my mind drifted towards a topic I couldn't afford to share. Karatsu gave me until the end of this week to reach a decision, and with night almost upon us, it would appear I just about out of time. As if that wasn't enough, I also needed to ensure that my work from last night went unnoticed. After finishing off the final member of Kanya family, I located a bottle of bleach from under the sink, which I used to remove the fresh blood from my gloves and shirt. I then proceeded to steal some clothes from the late Mr. Kenya wardrobe, careful not to step on the puddle and roaching upon the room's doorway, and made my escape out the back door. A few fences later, I was in the clear. I was fortunate to get out of there before the police arrived, but was it enough? Did the wife manage to tell the police anything before I killed her? Did I accidentally leave a bloody shoe print? Will some of my hair be found at the scene? All it takes is one little mistake and I could wind up in a jail, if not the cemetery. Despite my worries over getting caught, I felt no sympathy as I recalled the manner in which I disposed of Lucia and her family. You did not feel any sympathy? You should, you know. You see, she's such a nice girl, you know. She didn't scream and so on. And the thing is that I think she really wanted to meet you again, you know. You are her idol. You were really her idol, you know. For all my complaints about Marcus killing people unnecessary, or my reservations about working for Mr. Karatsu, in reality, I had already stopped caring. I know I should feel bad about Lucia, but when I think about how her lies could have gotten me into prison, I just can't. What happened with her family members was unfortunate, but they shouldn't have died like that. I was careless, lingering longer than planned, and needed to kill them to make a clean getaway. But now that they are all gone, I just... Just pulling myself away from my dangerous thought, I found my sister staring at the television. groaning under her breath. Sarah, what's wrong? This seems like it can be another part in another episode of Sickness. Alright, so I'll end part 16 of Sickness right here, and I'll see you in part 17 of Sickness. Alright, see you later. Thank you for watching. Bye. Whoa. Did you get scared? Well, subscribe to my channel, and I promise you, you'll never get scared again. Or watch more videos, and you will be able to find your peace in life.